my husband and John were playing video games, and then he collapsed and kind of military crawled over to my husband, who was making dinner, and was just screaming, "Help me, help me." Then he tried to pull himself up on the kitchen counter and started screaming, "I can't see, I can't see."
So from there we spent 54 days in PICU in Cohen's Children's Hospital.
John's brain injury was related to what's called an arteriovenous malformation, or an AVM, which basically means that the blood vessels in his brain, while they were developing, they created some weak spots. And some of those weak spots broke and bled in his brain. One of the areas where that bleeding occurred was towards the back of his brain near the cerebellum. And that part of the brain controls a lot of your motor functioning and the precision of your movements.
We needed therapies that would help him walk again, talk again, eat. Right now he has a G-tube, so we want to get him eating, chewing, swallowing, talking again. And he's home. He wants to get home. He's looking forward to being home. He misses his dog, Chloe.
When he first got to us, it was at the end of October of last year. And at that time, he was barely responding to anything. He was very deep in a disorder of consciousness.
In the beginning, you know, especially as he was emerging from his disorder of consciousness, you know, is he gonna have fulfilled life? Is he gonna be able to do all the things he did before?
So when John came to us, he was barely able to respond movement-wise to very much in his environment at all. After a few weeks, we started to see him coming back. And the first things we started to see were visually, he was focusing on things that were happening around him. You'd see his eyes turn towards his parents or his therapist as they were doing different things. As he got better, he would smoothly track things that were happening around the room. So we would watch his parents move from side to side, or as we would move things across his visual field, he would follow them pretty well. Then the next thing that came back for John, he's quite a comedian. He loves comedy. His family is very funny. His therapy team here is very funny. Got a whole confluence of people who love to joke and laugh. And so one of the things that came back pretty quick, sooner than he was able to follow commands, he was laughing at appropriate moments. So there would be times where on his shows or when his parents would say something silly where he would just crack up, or they would be laughing with each other and he would look over at them and then laugh with them. So that gave us some evidence that he was understanding what was happening and was able to laugh along with his parents, which is like what their family is all about.
He jokes and plays around. He has them laughing, they have him laughing, and just the bond that he seems to have with his therapists, just, I don't know, makes me feel good and warm and fuzzy.
They've all grown on each other, you know, in that sense. When they started out, he was not really doing much. You know, he wasn't moving much. He obviously wasn't speaking at all. So they kind of, as he evolved and his personality came out, I think he just infected them. You know, and that's just how he is. He kind of, you know, brings out goofy in people.
Brings out the silly. You bring out the silly in people.
Part of my role is to help assess all of the different parts of John's brain as they recover. With brain injuries, it's really tricky to know which things may recover first or take a little bit longer. And so as you're trying to help teach him new skills, you have to understand, what is he understanding language-wise? What is his visual experience like? How is his focus affecting the situation? How much of what we're teaching him is he remembering from day to day? And so my role is to try to help the team to put these pieces of his thinking skills together to cater their approaches to how he's best going to progress. And so as we're reestablishing communication, thinking about what the visual experience might be like, how much we can expect him to remember from session to session. So I work really closely with a really great team of therapists and doctors and other members of the team to help them to understand these aspects and then cater their approaches to help him make the most progress possible.
I think it's been amazing. Everyone is so loving, so caring, so genuine. All the nurses, the therapists, everyone it just genuinely cares and wants to see you succeed. And the nurses are just all amazing. The doctors are amazing, the therapists. I don't think there's anyone that, you know, you could say is an outlier that doesn't seem to really genuinely care. They say it takes a village, and there's definitely a village here at Blightdale that all cares about John and their patients and how they're succeeding and how they're doing. Right, Mommy?